first interaction with Mike Kelly came 4 years ago when I started at Great Valley. I entered this district as a freshman teacher, much like the freshmen who enter Mike's Eastern World and Civilizations class, excited, enthusiastic, but also nervous, and admittedly slightly awkward. As I sat in my first department meeting, I watched as our department members gathered in John's classroom, ready to make last-minute preparations for the school year. Mike walks in, stood in the back of his classroom, clipboard in hand, and said, "All right, Johnny, you got 10 minutes. Go." And with that, he started his watch. As Don presented the new curricular initiatives and filled us in on all the educational buzzwords we've been working with that year, Mike made it perfectly clear, as only Mike can, what he thought of the new ways to teach history. The meeting ended with Mike informing Don that he'd gone over his allotted time and abruptly leaving the classroom. I was terrified. I knew that whatever I did not want to make him angry. I tell you that story for a couple of reasons. First, it's hilarious. It's classic Mike Kelly. But more importantly, it illustrates exactly how far our relationship has come. Like those freshmen who sit in his classroom each September, nervous and intimidated, I've learned so much from Mike that now I'm finishing my own senior year as another devotee to the cult of Mr. Kelly. To this day, he is one of the most frequently asked about teachers by former GV students. And as I stand here today, I can't, and quite frankly, I don't want to imagine Great Valley without Mike Kelly. From that second day, once I got over my initial fear, I've learned from Mike. He is the epitome of old school. I mean, the man still uses a demerit system, and according to his students, he hands them out quite liberally. But he's always willing to listen to new ideas and even sometimes incorporates them into his classroom. I have never, ever seen anyone run a classroom as efficiently as Mike does. It really is like a well-oiled machine. His kids know exactly what they're supposed to be doing during every minute of class. Not that they can keep track of time, since his clock is covered with a picture of a samurai warrior. But the kids actually do what they're supposed to do. I've tried to figure out what his secret is, but the only thing that I can figure out is that it's him. It's all Mike. He's figured out what works, and he sticks with it. He refuses to accept any nonsense. None of the freshmen grab ass or grab butt, as the sign in his room says, is permitted. And as someone who's been teaching 9th graders for more than 30 years, more years than I've been alive, Mike has somehow figured out the freshman psyche. He knows what they need and when they need it, whether that's discipline, humor, or just someone to listen. Mike is a mentor and a motivator. The kids in his classroom, much like myself, have a genuine desire to see Mike proud of them, and they will work their tails off until he is. The walls of Mike's classroom are evidence of the personal connections and successes he's forged with his kids and coworkers. From track championships to prom nights, pictures of former students, friends, and colleagues line the walls of Mike's room. That sense of history pervades everything that he does. Mike is always quick to tell a funny story about himself and Ben Chrissy in the good old days, or to relate a lesson learned at the 85 pen relays to one of his current runners. It's one of the reasons that he seems so skeptical of those new techniques bandied about at the beginning of every school year. Mike knows that it doesn't matter what name the theorists give to different teaching styles. Good teachers connect to their kids, and they put in whatever time and energy it takes to see them succeed. And that is something that Mike did every day of his career. When writing this speech, I asked a lot of people, both students and faculty alike, to describe Mike, searching for the words that will do his unique personality justice. But, as I quickly realized, simple is better. As one of Mike's athletes said, Mr. Kelly is crazy, but in a good way. He definitely is crazy, and I mean that as the utmost compliment. His quirks and idiosyncrasies are what kids remember. For example, no one can forget locker cleanouts in the old building, when Mike would flip over one of the big trash cans, hop up on top above the locker bays, just so he could yell at the freshmen one last time. Personally, I'll never forget the time I made the mistake of mentioning in casual conversation that I enjoy a little meal dining. Mike went nuts. To borrow a line from A Christmas Story, he worked in profanities the way that other artists work in watercolors or oils. He was a true artist. Every moment was hilarious, and it was all because of his hatred for Neil Diamond. Everybody who knows him has their own Mr. Kelly impression, and this last story requires mine. One morning before homeroom, I accidentally walked in on Mike in his nap closet. There was a student sitting in his classroom who said he had no idea where Mr. Kelly was, so myself, in need of the world population data sheets, I began to open the door to the closet and was about to enter when I heard, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, what are you doing?" I screamed and slammed the door. Mike came out seconds later and goes, "Geez, McGregor, you don't just go barging into a man's nap closet. I could have been sleeping in there." We laughed about it, and after a little more ribbing, he did give me the data sheets. And being the great guy that he is, he even invited me to use the nap closet whenever I needed it. Mike brings that same sense of quirkiness into the classroom, a clean version, of course, and the kids adore him for it. In all seriousness, though, this man has no time to nap, because he is one of the most dedicated teachers that I know. He is pure passion. He's here early every single morning and spends most afternoons on the track. Even as a veteran teacher, he still keeps the long, extended hours of the novice. Of course, he wouldn't be able to put in that much time without support at home. And together, Mike and Linda Kelly have become beloved fixtures at Great Valley High School. They are two of the most steadfast, reliable, and just kind people that I know. And as Bill Mack so eloquently put it, Mike is so freaking unbelievably lucky to be married to Linda, because he totally hit the lottery there. I know Mike will concur. And together, he and Linda have made an indelible impact on the Great Valley community, both on the track and in the halls. I am honored by the opportunity to speak on behalf of those who have worked beside Mike for the past 31.5 years. Initially, I was hesitant. After all, I've only known Mike for 4 years. But as I thought about it, I realized that's the beauty of Mike Kelly. It doesn't matter whether you've known him 50 years or 5 minutes. When you talk to him, you quickly realize that he is one of the kindest and most genuine people you will ever meet. Great Valley really is losing one of its finest. But, Mike, we wish you and Linda nothing but happiness as you embark on your latest adventures. And to echo your students' sentiments, I hope you do get to live out your dream and ride a camel full speed across the Arabian desert. Because, really, after all, the Eastern world does rule. We love you.